Hi, here's Michael Yander. I'm at the Radisson Blu in Delhi, where the DMAI convention is still going on. Lots of great people here, lots of interesting conversation, but I think this one takes the cake. Now, I'm here with a guy who left the world's largest software company to work with the world's largest fruit. What's that all about? That's exactly what I asked. That's why I asked James here to tell us a little bit about his story. So what is this about, from the biggest software company in the world to the biggest fruit in the world? And what is the biggest fruit in the world?
So the biggest fruit in the world is called jackfruit.
Ah,
It's the jack of all fruits.
okay.
It's the largest. Average jackfruit weighs 10 kilos. It's a baby hippo without legs. Okay? But because it's so big that it's very difficult to transport. So 80% jackfruits grown in India goes waste every year because it's too difficult. But it's highly nutritious. It is one of the superfoods available. Okay? It's rich in fiber, and one of those trees trees which the root goes so deep into the soil that it can bring in so many nutrients into the fruit. But unfortunately, no one uses it. Okay, it just goes waste. It's a great natural resource, extremely healthy fruit, but not able to use. So to me, the epiphany happened when I was sitting at a dinner in Taj Mahal Palace in Mumbai. I was for my clients at Microsoft. I had replicated the dinner which the chef Hemant Dabroy made for the U.S. president and his wife when they were in India. So when I heard about this dinner, I asked some chef, it looks great. Can I have that dinner for my customers? He said, by all means. Only thing is you have to come to my studio, which is the chef studio. So the best dish at the chef studio at that dinner was something called Varki crab. Okay, it's a crab meat based dish. It was so delicious that the six of us, four of us had the crab, and then the two vegetarians had, or preferred vegetarians had Varki kumbh, which was made of mushroom. So when we had that Varki crab, we liked it so much, we said, chef, we want to have one more round. And these two vegetarians who had the kumbh, they said, if it is so great, we are not strictly vegetarians. We don't mind having the crab. So the second round, they went for the crab. And it was spectacular. So that's when it occurred to me that how come the chef didn't consider jackfruit instead of mushroom? Okay. And the reason being that, I grew up with jackfruit, and I mean, from my childhood onwards, I've heard this: if you have a jackfruit tree in your yard, your life extends by 10 years, because the amount of fiber you get within those 60 days when it's available, it's so good for your body. It's like a bottle brush for your intestinal walls.
Oh, wow.
It cleanses, so that's how you can prevent carcinoma inside intestine.
So is that proven?
It's proven, yeah.
It's proven, so life expectancy in that area of Kerala, the state of Kerala.
That's a saying, but the nutritional benefits are there in the US Quick Health Index. You can see all those studies. So the study was already there.
Okay.
Okay, but the way you communicate that in local language is to say that, okay, it's like a bottle brush for intestinal walls. Extends your life by 10 years. That's the thumb rule which they say in back in my home. So but then I asked the chef, so how come you didn't consider jackfruit? He said, jackfruit 5-star, no way. It's a messy thing to handle in a kitchen, because it's got its gum. It's too difficult to cut, and then it's absolutely messy to prepare the jackfruit from the fruit to the bulb which you need to cook. But then if it's ripe, the aroma spreads within the kitchen. It can even spread to the other dishes. And third, it's seasonal. So I summarize that as a sticky, smelly, and seasonal.
Yeah.
That's why nobody uses jackfruit. That's why 80% jackfruit in India goes waste. So that's when, it's okay, can I do something about it? It's a great natural resource which just goes waste. And that's when I started experimenting with jackfruit, and then I first made the jackfruit burger. It came out really well. And the jackfruit burger, you probably know that McDonald's, the largest selling burger in India is the veggie burger,
Yeah.
which is made of potato,
Yeah.
the McAloo burger. So if McDonald's can do veggie burger with potato, why can't I think of a burger with jackfruit, which is closer to meat? It's going to taste better. It's got a better texture, like meat. So we made the burger. It came out really well. But then I started studying the supply chain of frozen burgers in India. That's when I realized the cold chain in India is not as advanced as the Western world. So the chances of, the burger getting spoiled is very high. And so that's a no-go area. So I dropped that idea. That's when, an old contact, I met 15 years ago on a train journey. He had told me that he used to export green pepper from India to the US. So he'll first dehydrate the green pepper, sends it to the US, and the chefs will rehydrate them and cook. So if pepper can be dehydrated and rehydrated, can jackfruit be dehydrated and rehydrated? That was my question. So he unfortunately passed away the year before, and then I called his son, and then he told me, for jackfruit, I would recommend something called freeze drying. Okay, then he pointed me to a company in Kerala which does freeze drying. So I asked them, can you get me some jackfruit freeze dried? And we got both ripe and raw jackfruit freeze dried. And then I took it to the chef back again, the chef who made the burger. Then I asked him, can you make a pie? So he made the jackfruit pie, and we both started eating it. Then we realized, okay, how tasty it is. The jackfruit gets caramelized very well, and it stays in the tree for longer. And you know that apple pie is always made with Granny Smith apple.
I didn't know that.
Okay, to me, apple pie is the biggest con job by the ice cream manufacturers.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Because you always have to eat ice cream with apple pie.
Yeah.
Because it's not sweet.
Yeah.
Whereas pecan pie is more sweeter.
Yeah.
This jackfruit pie is sweeter than pecan pie.
Yeah.
And you can see the fiber. When you break the pieces, you can actually feel it.
Yeah.
That's how fibrous it is. Tasty and fibrous. So it's a healthy, tasty pie. And that was my eureka moment. I knew that, okay, this works. And the chef said, okay, James, this is magic. If you give it to me in this form, I will use it all the time. And it's got a shelf life of 365 days. So that's how Jackfruit 365 was born.
Amazing. So just a few questions more. So now the business is about 1 year old.
Yeah.
And I noticed that you're getting media coverage everywhere.
Okay.
But what about the business side of this?
Okay. So to me, I had, there were two aspects to it. One was about, repositioning jackfruit as a brand. So from a sticky, smelly, seasonal to something which is loved by the chefs, loved by housewives.
So the chefs are going to be the ones driving it into popularity, so to speak.
Correct. So to me, it was about repositioning. So for me, to prove the point, okay, jackfruit is not untouchable, is by making it available in the finest restaurants in India.
Right.
If the best properties in India start using jackfruit, then people look up to it as a superfood, not as a commodity.
Yeah.
So to me, to rebrand jackfruit was the number one game. Okay, so that is what I've achieved in the last 1 year. It's about making this is loved by the chefs. Second is about making it available into the households, working professional households. So three target segment for it. One is the five-star hotels for the branding. Second is getting into the households. Third, bulk volume I see is from the corporate cafeterias. So the comparison which I have is, if you look at the Subway sandwich, it's a healthy sandwich. It's available in every corporate cafeterias in India now. So there is a customer base who's looking for a healthy lunch or a healthy dinner.
Yeah.
So a jackfruit-based sandwich is a better alternate, a native solution to the health-conscious Indian professional.
But what about the taste? Better?
Much better.
Much better.
Much better. So you can make and it is as I said, it is tasty and healthy. The taste was never an issue. Jackfruit taste is, in fact, one of the customers told me, James, you don't have to sell this because the grandparents have sold it to all your customers.
Oh, really?
The grandparents of every customer has done the job of selling the taste and the benefits of jackfruit to every customer of mine. I don't have to sell to them. I just have to make it available to them.
Yeah.
Okay. So talking about business, to me, I Up to May was the experimentation. So in May, we sourced all the jackfruits, we got it processed, then we kept quiet. In September, there was no jackfruit available in India,
Really?
and that's when we launched it.
I see.
Okay, when there was no jackfruit available, we launched it, and the people just loved it because there was no other way to get jackfruit.
Excellent.
And it proved the point. Okay, it is not seasonal.
Yeah.
Okay, now jackfruit goes from all over India, from Chennai to Chandigarh. We are sending it by courier. People are ordering it online. The e-commerce model is what I've started off, and people are ordering it online. And for the non-resident Indians who wants to get jackfruit, we have opened up shops inside the airports. So they buy it from there and they take it. Otherwise, everyone in India is ordering it online, and we are sending it by courier.
Excellent.
So that's the first. So that's from my. So first was about strategic marketing. Second is about managing cash flow. So
Yeah.
to me, the online model, people pay first, we get the cash, and then we send it.
Yeah.
That is good for a startup.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go through the retail model, there's a lot of inventory lying out there, and then you have to worry about cash flow, worry about payments coming in. So to start, that was my goal, to go with e-commerce model. Rebranding is number one. Second is about only e-commerce. Third is the corporate cafeterias, and then the final phase we'll make it available in every shop.
It's very interesting. Unfortunately, we don't have any more time, but I want to
Okay.
thank you so much for telling this story. And to you watching here, fascinating, isn't it? From the biggest software company in the world to the biggest fruit, and maybe it's going to be the biggest fruit company at some point. Check the links wherever they are to learn more about Jackfruit 360. 5 and everything else there is to know, and LinkedIn profile for James will also be there if you want to get connected with him. Here's Mike Leander saying thank you for watching, and have a good day today and all the other days.